queen. I'm in the fast lane when the light turns green. And I built tough, I ain't nothing but grit. Cause I made rugged blood, sweat, and spit. Yeah, like a horse I fly. Better push yourself in for a bumpy ride. I like to play hard, but I work harder. And I weather the storm cause I'm built stronger.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. We are live. It is the Freight Coach Morning Show, the top morning show in transportation, coming to you guys every single weekday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central, to break down some industry headlines and, most importantly, provide some actual insight into what you can do with all of this information. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. This is the real side of freight, ladies and gentlemen. And what do I mean by that? I mean, I only speak to transportation professionals on this show, as well as my twice-a-week long-form podcast, because I want to put the right information out there, you guys, that from the people who have done what you're looking to do or who are currently doing what you're trying to achieve it, so you can apply, utilize, and see a meaningful difference in your business and your life. It's one of the many, many reasons why I probably fly this American flag behind me every single day. A, we're the greatest nation on earth, but B, I'm living my American dream, and I'm going to help each and every one of you live yours as well. All right. Monday in freight. We got loads moving today over at Freight Coach Logistics. I know you guys do too. And, and again, we're here to do a solo show today. So we got some articles we're going to break down. And then I'm going to do a little bit of a market update from what I'm seeing out there. But before we do anything, as always, you guys have got to give a shout out to my friends over at VHub, vhubapp.com. Whether you're a broker, carrier, or a shipper, we all need access to trailers. And the best part is you get paid to move these trailers. That's right. That's on top of the revenue that you can get by loading these trailers out. So what they're working on right now is they have trailers over in Stoughton, Wisconsin, needing to go over to Milton, Ontario. And you get $350 US per trailer on this. Now they got like 140 of these, you guys. You can bring them up into Madison, maybe over to Milwaukee, down to Chicago, whatever that looks like. They just got to be ending up over in Milton, Ontario. They also have in San Diego, they have a bunch of trailers out there, you guys. Like 300 of them going to multiple locations all across the U.S. Some roll-up doors, some swing doors. They range anywhere from $1,100 to $2,200 per trailer. They go to Michigan, Mississippi, Ohio, Texas, Georgia, North Carolina, Virginia, New York, Mass, you name it, you guys. And then they finally have a bunch of trailers over in Paragould, Arkansas, needing to get up to Mississauga, Ontario, and you get $736 US to move that, you guys. So hit them up, vhubapp.com. My friends Zach Lonergan and Stacy Steen, they'll be in the audience. Just do me a favor, let them know that the Freight Coach sent you. Tracy St. Clair, she's watching over on YouTube. Good morning, Tracy. Thank you for tuning in. And let's see, I've also heard, you guys, if you're watching over on another platform, that YouTube has the best quality video and audio for the stream out there. So if you're going to jump over there, guys, just search for the Freight Coach. That's my channel over there. And as always, if you got value in your boy's show, just hit subscribe while you're over there. Let me see here. April, what's up, April? She says, good fucking morning. Let's make that money Monday. I like that. Let's go. Hope you had a great weekend as well. Let me see. Adolfo Rodriguez. Buenos dias. ¿Cómo estás, Adolfo? Good to see you. And then I'm going to bomb that second one. Echarle ganas. I don't know. I botched that. I'll ask my wife. My wife translates all that stuff for me. Drew Driscoll, what is up? Happy Monday to you too. Drew's with Axel Logistics. Those guys are good friends of mine. They're watching over in Rocky Top, Tennessee. Go Vols. Zach Lonergan, what's up? Strategize with me on VHub's trailer utilization. The payouts are crazy. And speaking of payout, you guys, my friends over at Green Screens are running a campaign for National Logistics Day, which is going to be this Wednesday. They're asking people to submit a quick video sharing their craziest logistics story. And then from there, they're going to select the top 3 stories and have the public vote. Whichever one has the most votes or likes, the winner is going to get a $500 gift card out there, you guys, over on Green Screens. And they plan to collect all the responses and then announce them on the 28th. And then I'm probably going to share them on the show as well. And we're going to try and get more people in there to vote. So if you got, I know you guys all have some crazy logistics stories, right? Like we all do. We've all dealt with some shit out there, but Greenskis is throwing a $500 gift card in there as well. So that's pretty cool to celebrate National Logistics Day. And this is for everybody. So go out there. And if you want, DM me I'll put you in contact with them, but just go over to them. They've been putting some stuff all over social media as well on Instagram and LinkedIn. So just reply to those posts out there and submit your video. I think it'd be pretty cool. I'm going to probably submit a video here either today. And I mean, we all have fucking crazy stories at the end of the day. And if you guys also want some access to some pretty cool rating software out there, hit them up as well for that, you guys. I mean, I'm literally using that inside of my brokerage. I use Green Screens as my pricing tool, my main pricing tool. And it's literally we've seen an increase of probably 20% of win ratios here over the last couple of weeks alone in that. And then, especially you guys, like, this is why it's so imperative because, a lot of the data that's out there, like what's coming up this week, this is a holiday week, no matter what. I know the 4th of July is next Tuesday, but you can consider this week and next week a holiday for that. And then also it's end of month, end of quarter, end of fucking everything this week, right? At the end of the day. So it's like rates fluctuate, you guys, and it's real time pricing that can come across with this. So it's like, getting in there and then providing accurate pricing to your customers in these moments, right? Because we all know, I mean, I use like Los Angeles, for example. I know it's not technically like that all the time, but like there were some Fridays I remember booking freight out of LA where it's like the rate at 7 a.m. is like double by 10 a.m., for example, right? So it's like you need that real-time pricing, and especially around the holidays, you guys, because capacity is going to start to leave the market here for the holiday, probably starting Thursday or Friday. A lot of these drivers, rightfully so, are going to get their freight to haul them and get them back home by Friday. They're not going to work Monday, or maybe they will, but like your facilities. So, take this into consideration today. If you got any loads on your board for Friday or for Monday, get ahead of this stuff, you guys. Get out there, call your shippers, call your receivers, verify their hours, verify that capacity, get ahead of all this, you guys. And do that today, because a lot of you guys are going to want to leave early on Friday and get up to the lake or, whatever it is that you're going to do. So be prepared. Get out there and enjoy the weekend, right? If you're taking that Monday off, cool, do you. But just be prepared and get ahead of this stuff, you guys. And then especially if you're going to be out there pricing freight out around the holidays and stuff, rates are exponentially different, and they can change really quick. And especially if it's like, for me, I'm out there actively building my brokerage right now. And I'm out there getting in the door with new shippers, and my first loads that are going to come about on a holiday weekend like this, right? When everybody else is taking the weekend off. Cool. Your boy will be here to take care of it. What am I going to do? I'm going to pull that shit up right on Green Screens, you guys, and get that price out there. Again, I'll keep you guys posted on that. Yes, they're a partner of mine. They're a supporter of the show and everything, but I literally use them inside of my business. Let me see here. Sonny Sharma, what is up? Good fucking morning, Orange Shirt Gang. Rob Milton, good morning. Morning freight pimps. I love it. Dude, I love it. I love that photo too, my man. Let me see here. Nick Sanders, let's get it. April says, thanks for the intro with Green Screens demo set for Thursday. Perfect, April. That's good. I'm glad you got all of that squared away. Lewis, what's up, dude? Good to see you. Good to see you. Let's go. End of everything. Okay. All right, man. All right, buddy. Let me see here. All right, let's get into the first article. All right, I told you guys about that. I'm getting sure. Got the National Logistics Day. Hit them up. $500 gift card. That'd be pretty cool. Nick Erdman says, make sure carriers are being secure for the holiday weekend. Keep up the great work. Appreciate it, Nick. And if you were talking to me on that, and I'm throwing that message out there for everybody else too. Diesel, you guys, I get this information from the EIA. It's at $3.81 a gallon out there nationwide right now. They will be updating it this afternoon to kind of show. And again, if you're out there bidding line haul plus fuel, this is a great place for you to see where the markets are trending. And then that's going to help you price out everything moving forward on there. But let's get into some articles, you guys. Articles that I break down. All of them, the links to the articles are going to be uploaded onto the Freight Coach YouTube channel, as well as the Coffee with the Freight Coach audio only replay of this, which is on iTunes and Spotify almost immediately after the show. Let's see here. What do we got? What do we got going on today? First article. This is from FreightWaves, and I don't know if you guys saw this over the weekend, But there was another train derailment out there. And it sends tanker cars into the Yellowstone River. And officials say Montana Rail Line was covering asphalt and molten sulfur. It was carrying hazardous materials and it derailed Saturday morning in Montana, causing a bridge to collapse and sending multiple rail cars into the Yellowstone River. And it occurred around 6 a.m. local time. 8 tanker cars were damaged and were leaking petroleum products near the Yellowstone River. The rail cars, which were owned by Montana Rail Link, were hauling asphalt and molten sulfur, according to the report from the Stillwater County News. Both the substances are described as slow moving and have not gone much past the initial scene. Resources are dispatched and multiple agencies are assisting, the sheriff's office said. No injuries reporting. And then it's a Class 2 railroad. And then let me see here. Yeah, it's insane to me that this is, it just seems like it's every week now. It's every week or every couple weeks that there's another derailment that's happening. And you know, I try not to read into some stuff that is out there in regards to this because, you know, in comparison here, I'm just going to do a quick Google search and see what is the annual train derailments. And I'm just pulling this up right now. And then it showed between 2005 and 2021, there was 1,475 derailments per year. So that's the average per year. And it just seems like it's becoming more, I mean, you know, maybe it's more and more of a thing that we're just getting access to information on, but it makes you think, right? Like I try not to pay attention to too much of the tinfoil hat stuff that's out there, but it's definitely making me start to question some things, right? Because it's like where they're happening at, the materials that are going, like, I mean, just like a couple, like I think it was last month, I broke down an article that like 60 some thousand pounds of fucking hazmat, like that was made in bombs. A key component of what is made into certain bombs went missing between Wyoming and California, excuse me. And it's crazy to me that it's becoming more and more of a thing. And I know that, you know, they're talking about like essentially there's 3 train derailments a day is what that averages out to. Like that's a fucking problem to me though. Right. And it says that very rarely, and this is just where I'm pulling this information up. I just Googled annual train derailments per year. And it says it's 3 per year. Very rarely does it turn into a disaster. There aren't usually disasters. But still, it's just like, you know, again, it's proof that our infrastructure is crumbling. I think anybody out there who travels, whether it's by freeway, railway, air, you know, ports, everything, like we need to fix this shit, right? Like we need to fix this shit because like I just find like that's such a high number. Even like 3 a day is insane to me. So you know, again, that's just another thing in I don't know. I'm starting to question things. I really am because this is, you know, another hazmat spill on another waterway that's out there and amongst other things. So I don't know. It's definitely making my stuff, my barometer start to fucking increase a little bit on where these things are. Why are these things happening at the level that they are? Next article, I just wanted to bring that. That was just a short one. Next article is also from FreightWaves. And it is a marketer advises customer experience focus during freight industry uncertainty. Global marketer Andrew Lark used a racing analogy to compare how freight companies can survive and even grow their business during a recession. And by focusing on customer experience and marketing, there's a great quote that he says that I love, that the best of operators, and many of you are the best of operators, know how to win on a wet track. And it's a wet track out there, but it's pretty easy to win on a dry track, said Lark. Then he also says, we look at the current condition and go, oh my God, it's never been this nuts. But then people that are old and tired and exhausted, like me, remember, yeah, actually, there was the Iraq war and then there's another war and then there was another recession. We've been through this before. As an investor, advisor, mentor, and founder of multiple startups, Lark, who chairs Group Lark, a global consultancy, said that companies survive and thrive during these. And he also says he's the author of one of the best selling books out there, The Augmented Age, Life in the Smart Lane. And this book is about rising artificial intelligence. Let me see here. That marketing money is spent and how it should budget to actually touches the customers. You have to look at the ratio in your business and go, if I'm putting $100 in marketing and only $10 is viewed, there's something fundamentally wrong. And then marketers make a pretty soft target when it comes to budgets, but the spend issue is a huge marketing. Lark added that the reality is the business-to-business marketers spend roughly 92% of their budgets chasing 5% of their customers in the market. Instead of investing more money in search engine optimization or SEO, focusing on the customers and the revenue out there, find customers who love your business and get them to introduce you to other customers. He said that the supply chain is a fundamental differentiator out there. Don't think of yourself as a shipper, as freighters, as pallet orchestrators. Think of yourself as fundamental components in delivering customer experience. And I would argue that the largest breaking points in today are customer experience. I wholeheartedly agree with him on this. This was, again, it looked like he was speaking at their conference last week out there, but it's like, frankly, the market that we're in right now is something that, yes, I've seen before. I would say that the main difference between this market and other markets that have seen similar, that were similar, is the amount of time to onboard now. Like because we're onboarding new customers, right? Like I'm building this from scratch. Like I had no customers that I was like working for somebody and I took like 10 of them and started a brokerage. Like this is complete fucking cold outreach, cold everything. So it's like we're having conversations, we're onboarding customers, but what's new to me is the access to their freight once you're onboarded. It's almost like you're resetting the sales cycle at that time. And I hadn't seen that before, because normally what I had seen in the past was it was a longer sales cycle, but then when you're onboarded, you start seeing business, slowly, but you start seeing business. And from what I'm seeing out there and personally experiencing, it's like, yeah, we're onboarding customers. Yes, we're bidding on freight, but we haven't seen as much access to the majority of their freight that you normally would. So again, it's just like, I knew that it was going to be a challenge, right? But I also, I jumped back in when I did strategically, because I'm a firm believer that if you can sell in a down market, and now what I mean by down market in today's environment is that it's not, you're not just getting onboarded onto shippers like you had been in the past couple of years. It takes a lot of work. Again, I'm not going to get into why I sell in the niche, but it's very well publicized, in my opinion, about niche-based selling that is out there. But, so it's like, for me personally, getting in with somebody and then talking about this, it's like, where is the value? Because the people who just go in there and they're just like, hey, I have unlimited capacity, we can do everything, hand me your freight and let me run it. Those days are like, they don't need that shit, right? They need those very niche specific reps that come in there. And again, where's the real value, right? Where's the real value? And like, how are you different? Because everybody's got perfect service in the prospecting phase. Everybody's got top tier technology in the prospect. Everybody's the fucking same in the prospecting phase. But how are you really differentiating yourself out there when you are trying to get onboarded? And that's something that we're constantly studying inside of my organization. Because again, you guys, I don't have everything figured out. I have a lot. I just know what not to do, right? And then I know that I need to constantly evolve in my outreaches, in my prospecting, and even in my services, right? Like I hate it when things happen, right? Like when things don't pick up on time and deliver on time, just like everybody, right? But at the end of the day, I look at it as an opportunity of, all right, how do we get better in the future? Because I know that shit's going to happen. And when it does happen, we have to provide a solution. And then is that a solution that we can implement into our SOP so we can identify that earlier on in the process? Because that's where the real value lies, right? Like we all have access to trucks. We all have access to price and quoting and everything. We can do all that shit. But where's the real differentiator? Because everybody sells on service and communication. But are you really abiding by that when it happens? And then when those things do happen, are you making those necessary changes, or are you reacting? Is that a mistake that happened on your end and then it happens again? Right? Like that's where all the success lies, is, I can kind of lump it into two categories, and a mentor of mine in an entrepreneur group that I'm in talks about this a lot. So this isn't coming from Chris Jolly or anything. This is just something that I heard and I applied. The two biggest differentiators out there is not quitting, right? Like when shit gets hard, like right now, when it's really hard to sell, don't fucking quit. That's number one. Number two, don't make the same mistakes twice. And it might sound simple, but it's very fucking true. If you constantly send in a driver to a facility where it needs an appointment, but you never fucking said it, and it happens more than once, you're an idiot and you're gonna lose business. Like there's no other way to put it. So it's like, it's not making the same mistake twice and making those changes to avoid that stuff early on and bringing an improvement inside of your customer's organization. Matt Fink, what's up, dude? It's been we gotta talk soon, Matt. It's been a while. I miss you. He says marketing is indeed important, but operational excellence should be the core. I didn't read this prior to going down my little rant there, but yes, do it better than anyone else. All facets of your business, and you will survive all market cycles. If OpEx is your foundational DNA, market swings won't surprise you, and you'll already have a plan for each imminent market cycle. And that's the thing, you guys, is a lot of these market shifts are so much more predictable than what's being credited out there in the mainstream media. A lot of this shit is very predictable. It really is. It's just in those moments, are you going to do what is best in the best interest of your customer in that moment? Are you going to bring that market shift there, or are you going to ride that shit out? And again, I think compensation, however you compensate your people, I'm not here to tell you how to do any of that, but we know, right? Like we know when there's a market shift happening. You can't sit here and say that, oh, this shit caught us by surprise. We all know it's just when everybody's high-fiving and fucking chest bumping about how you're setting record days, and then all the freight miraculously goes away because you don't adapt to the market. Let that be a lesson. Again, don't make the same mistake twice. That article was also from FreightWaves, you guys. Marketer advises customer experience. That's what it's about. It's customer loyalty. At the end of the day, it's always about customer loyalty. Let's see here. Sorry, I was on a little bit of a rant there. Had to drink my Black Rifle coffee. And again, I'm speaking this into existence. You guys, I have no affiliation with Black Rifle Coffee at all, but I love their product. They have the best coffee on the market. And one of these days, they're going to be a partner of your boys here. All right? One of your days, it's going to happen. You're going to see Black Rifle Coffee logo. It's going to be on there. Just speaking it into existence. John Radvansky, what's up, man? He says I get sold to every day. Why is your organization different? It's been a while, John, too. Blast from the past today. I love it. All right. Third and final article that we're going to get to today is from ttnews.com. And truckers of tomorrow, how fleets are attracting the next generation of drivers. Okay, I better read the article here. In the years ahead, the essential task of hauling the nation's freight and keeping the economy rolling will increasingly shift to a new generation of professional drivers. Attracting workers to step into those roles remains a long-standing challenge for trucking companies, but somehow fleets will need to bring in younger drivers to keep pacing with projected freight growth and everything out there. To accomplish this, fleet operators must find ways to recruit from broader labor pools and meet the lifestyle preferences and work expectation of future drivers. Several industry leaders said younger workers expect more from a driving career, including flexible schedules, a clear career path. Excuse me, my mouth works faster than my brain sometimes, and a sense of belonging. Ultimately, it's going to come down to culture, work-life balance, and stability. Said Pat Udovich, a chief human resources officer at LTL carrier A Dewey Pile, excuse me. Culture has become the king, rightfully so. And okay, my computer okay, there it is. And then we do not see that changing for the next generation to onboard. On a list of driver priorities, work-life balance has always been close to a second pay, but the younger generation is pushing that level of importance even higher. A growing percentage of candidates even opting for lower paying jobs with a larger amount of home time or flexibility. And that came from Chris Polens. He's the VP of recruiting over at Warner Enterprises. And then fleets are adjusting their operations and implementing technology that will help improve that flexibility. And then they go on to say, they're using their mobile app. We have a career opportunities tab on the driver app that's out there. Let me see here. And then Dee Cox, VP of Human Resources at Old Dominion. let me see. And that was LTL carrier that was out there, and that they're open and honest communication. What's the driver looking for long term? Is it okay for the driver to have Tuesday and Wednesday? Do those days actually work for better home time? And let me see here. April Turi, a 23-year-old driver from Brenny Wait, is Brenny Transportation out of Minnesota? Yeah, there we go. That's what I thought. Brenny's out of Minnesota. I interviewed their boss, the head honcho over there at my podcast when I was at the MTA event last year. Sorry. Anyways, back to what I was saying. Becoming an OTR driver became more enticing because I could live in my truck and get paid. I saved tens of thousands of dollars. While it was the pay was initially, I'm not doing this for the money anymore. Terry said, I like being by myself and getting paid to go places that I haven't before. Boom. I love it. I love Andy Turry, his statement in this, because I've talked about this, back in 2020, we missed a massive opportunity to recruit a fuckload of more drivers into this. And it is exactly what he was saying. How many people bought a fucking Sprinter van and just cruise around the country now? That was a main demographic. And again, my dad drove he was an owner-op, owned his own trucking company for a very long time. That was him. He wouldn't work in an office if you paid him to do it, right? That was that nomad lifestyle individual out there. They exist. They don't want to go in. They just want to drive around. They want to explore. That's a thing, right? And there's a big group of people out there that want that. We're going to skip ahead because I know we're coming up on time a little bit. And then attracting younger drivers. The average age of new entrants come in between 35 and 38, but younger people are looking into it. And, again, trucking becomes a second career for a lot of people, or a third career. And it's how much could we get into recruiting them early on? And then Joyce Brenny, that's who I interviewed and talked to her as well. She says that we can bring them on locally at 18 years old until they can reach the age to leave the state. And then lowering the minimum age for interstate truck drivers from 21 to 18 could also bring more people in. And that's what the IIJ was talking about as well. That's the Infrastructure Jobs Act. And then touting technology out there. And then it's more than a job. And again, I think how are we recruiting that next generation in? Because again, I fall into that demographic. I'm 37 years old. About attracting people in, and what's important to me at 37 means nothing to that 25-year-old who might be looking to get into trucking. And it definitely doesn't mean jack shit to that 18 to 21-year-old demographic, which is key out there. And again, we can get people in the door, because it is in the current state out there, in most states, you just need to be 18 years old to get a CDL. You just can't cross state lines for interstate transit, intrastate transit, depending on your insurance and everything will bring those drivers on. But again, what are we doing to attract that next generation out there? I think that, again, the sleepers, the modern sleepers, showing stuff out there. I mean, I follow a bunch of drivers all over social media. They all got their Xboxes, fucking flat screen TV. They got all the comforts of an apartment inside of their sleeper, right? So it's I think marketing, back to the last article that we broke down, we need to market that. Are they aware of what those current which amenities are inside of the truck itself, right? And and then on top of that, from there, how are we going to improve those areas of the industry? I can't speak to work-life balance or anything like that from a trucking company's perspective, because that's going to come down to the individual. But again, do you have more local regional routes where it's they could be out for a day, come back, leave on Monday, back home on Tuesday, and stuff like that? Is that a thing? What can you do from that to market to that next generation? I think that there's a very growing window of what we can do to improve to get that information out there as a whole. And it's going to come from us, you guys. No outsider's going to look at this and fix this shit. It's got to come from the industry. So that article is from ttnews.com, the truckers of tomorrow. It was a really long article. And there's a lot of good information in there, you guys. But that's going to be it for today. Ray Garcia, good morning to you. Thanks for tuning in. Rick Wooten, good morning. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow, you guys, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central. We'll break down some more industry headlines. I'll have some guests on this week. I'm just waiting to confirm on the days and everything, you guys. And again, reach out to my friends over at Green Screens. All right. National Logistics Day. Get that out there. Upload your video. You got a chance to win $500. Who doesn't want $500? I want $500 every fucking day. So yeah, hit him up. You guys hit up Green Screens to submit that video. Chandler says, I like the word translator at the bottom of the screen. We have to use Netflix if the actors are not loud enough. I love it. And Sunny Sharma, have a great day. As always, you guys, if you guys got value, subscribe and share the show. Rank the show. If you're watching on YouTube, hit subscribe. If you're following up on iTunes and Spotify, subscribe, share the show, rank the show. You guys, that's how we reach more and more people, because if you see value, your network's going to see value in it as well. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and we'll be talking to you soon.